Fast Five. Kyle Busch, 1489, 128.8 miles per hour. Now, a new development in the Ricky Stenhouse story after backing his car into the wall in turn 2 here when the car was too loose getting into the corner. They unloaded the backup car. Now what, Vince?
Well, they've taken a look at the radar and they believe that it's going to rain, and then their thought is that that second practice that we have scheduled for today would be canceled anyway. So they want to take the time to prepare the primary car. That way they won't lose their starting spot. So playing a little weatherman here in the Roush Fenway camp.
Starting grid set by car owner points after yesterday's qualifying fell victim to rain. And here's a look at the weather radar. You can see that everything is skirting the track to the north. And we stay dry. Let's ignore this right here for right now. But so far, all the weather has moved off to the north.
I'm impressed, first of all, but I'm also pretty happy to see what Kyle Larson's doing. He is a one-man band. He's up the top right now running 15.7s. He's picked up almost a second since he started running the high line.
Wow. And that was not unnoticed by other drivers.
Larson's out here just doing his darndest to get that high groove, middle groove worked in. He's a solid second and a half, possibly 2 off, but he's been out here for about 15 laps, just consistently running that 50, 60, 70% line. And you give an A for commitment. I'm now swinging.
What I'm most impressed with Kyle Larson is his patience, because he had to start, as I mentioned, about a second and a half off the pace. Cars were just flying by him. Each lap would get a little faster, a little faster, a little faster. Now, he never really got to as fast as some of the other cars are running around the bottom, but the patience that it took to experiment with that, he learned probably more right there than he has the entire weekend.
Now, you noticed Paul Wolf's name on that graphic earlier, Keselowski's crew chief. They lost their appeal last week for the suspension, but they have decided to take the final step and appeal to NASCAR's one-man version of the Supreme Court, chief appellate officer. So his suspension is stayed until that final appeal is heard. And here's Paul atop the box for Brad this weekend until this is finally resolved.
Yeah, that gets interesting, because this race is not in the playoffs, right? And where are we going next week? We're going to Richmond. That race is not. So I would have thought this week, next week would have been, the time when, if a crew chief was going to stay at home, these would be the two, because then the next race, it is in the playoffs.
I just think that from what I know about the case, that they don't feel like the punishment fit the crime. That what happened in the inspection. They feel like that they have a solid case. That's why they keep appealing.
Here's Matthew Benedetto. He's had some good runs here at Bristol, and he's on the most laps run list in this practice. Now, 11 a.m. is scheduled final practice, subject to the whims of Mother Nature and the track schedule, which will adjust to suit.
I always had a theory about this place. Don't race anybody, so at the end you don't have to race anybody. And that's kind of how I think a guy like Benedetto and some of these guys get these great finishes. They don't race anybody, because at the end of the day, you don't have, there's so few cars you have to race.
Worked for you 12 times, didn't it?
Worked pretty good for me, yeah.
Right rear suspension camera on A.J. Allmendinger.
Just look at the movement, though. Just look. Concrete is. You've driven down a concrete highway. Pump, 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 pump. Well, that's what you see here. Pump, 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 pump. Even that alone is enough to upset the car.
Now, Larry Mack, you can attest to this. What are we seeing different here? Yesterday, we did not see that brake hose right there. We saw a lot of sparks coming from the caliper and the brake pads, but now we're actually seeing where they're cooling that. Is that just because they're getting ready for the race?
Yeah, keeping those brakes cool, that also keeps that wheel a little cooler. Remember, where that heat goes is to that tire. It keeps the air pressure from building up so much in that right rear tire. So there's a lot of reason for that cooling.
A little under 14 minutes to go in the first of these two practice sessions today.